Brazil holds the 26th meeting of the Sao Paulo Forum after 4 years without an event due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Former Colombian army officers reveals during the hearing for Medellin's false positive how the murdering of victims were carried out. French security forces carried out new repressive actions against demonstrators in the city of Nored who were protesting the murder of a 70-year-old teenager by a police officer. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Ana Marrero from the Telesur headquarters in Caracas, Venezuela. We'll begin with the news. Stay with us. On Thursday, Brazil has the 26th meeting of the Sao Paulo Forum after 4 years without an event due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In Brazil, worshippers of the seminar that Latin America and the Caribbean integration and the challenges of leftist and progressive government began as part of the program of the 26th Sao Paulo Forum. At least 700 people will participate in the forum, among them nearly 150 leaders of the political organizations and social movement, who will discuss regional integration among the countries of the continent. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva is expected to attend the official inauguration of the forum at 7 p.m. local time. Judges continues deliberating verdicts on Thursday on charges that former President Jair Bolsonaro broke the law with his unproven allegations against Brazil's election system. The Superior Electoral Tribunal is trying the former president on charges he abused his office and misused state media when he made undocumented allegations of security flaws in the electronic voting system. The lead judge in the case, Benedicto Goncalves, ruled out on Tuesday to convict Bolsonaro, saying he had used violent speech and lies that endangered the credibility of the electoral system. In Brazil, only one vote is left for President Jair Bolsonaro to be ineligible for 80 years after being accused of carrying out an attack on the Brazilian electoral system in a meeting that broadcasts on national television in July 2022.
One vote is left for former President Jair Bolsonaro to be ineligible for the next 8 years. On Wednesday, on the third day of the trial at the Superior Electoral Court, 2 other judges supported the rapporteur's vote to condemn Bolsonaro for abuse of political power and also inappropriate use of the media during a meeting with foreign ambassadors in July 2022. In today's session, one of the judges voted in favor of the former president, leaving the partial result of 3-1 to withdraw his political rights until 2030. Now the vote of 3 other judges is still pending, among them that of President of the Superior Electoral Court, Alexandre de Moraes, who in the last years has become the center of Jair Bolsonaro's aggression against the judiciary. Let us recall that the former president was denounced by the Democratic Labour Party for using a meeting convened with foreign ambassadors in July last year to attack the electoral system and spread lies in the meeting broadcast by the state television station TV Brasil Gov. This meeting took place even a few months before the electoral dispute in Brazil. The trial started a week ago, and according to the 3 judges who voted against Jair Bolsonaro, the leader of the extreme right conducted an early electoral campaign using his condition of President of the Republic to spread attacks to the democratic system and mobilize his voters with the dissemination of accusations without evidence against the Brazilian voting system. The judges also point out the coup ideals present in Jair Bolsonaro's speeches. On Friday, the Superior Court will resume the trial at noon. Let's remember that 3 of the 7 judges voted to convict Bolsonaro, and one of them voted for his acquittal. With one more vote for Bolsonaro's conviction, a majority would be formed, and the former president will lose his political rights until 2030. There is also the possibility that one of the judges may request more time for review, which could postpone the trial for up to 2 months.
In Colombia, during the hearing before the Special Jurisdiction for Peace, GEP, in relation to the false positive in Medellin, former members of the Colombian Army revealed how the process of murdering the victims was carried out. During the second day of the hearing, those responsible described how the homeless and low-income people were recruited and taken from Medellin to the Vieira and then murdered. One of the testimonies indicated how the ex-military began to spread the criminal phenomenon with the alleged collaboration of the then Colonel David Guzman and paramilitary groups, initiating the actions in the municipality of Ituango. Sergeant Fidel Ochoa stated that one of the people who was offered as a per job offered in the Vieira was murdered by Colonel David Guzman himself.
In those moments, after we took their lives, we sullied their names. We told the media that they belonged to a group outside the law. And on many occasions, we even gave them aliases. They were never part of any group on the edge of the law. On the contrary, they were good, honest people, just like their families. It is in this scenario that we started to clear their names and their honor, because the victims and their families asked for it, and it is our duty as victims.
Fidel Ochoa, ex-sergeant of the Colombian Army, has promised to meet the demands of the victims and their families.
We must commit ourselves today in the name of those who appear before us, of those most responsible. I commit myself to fulfill and materialize the demands of the victims. If they say a mural in Dabeiba, a mural in Medellin, we will make it happen. These symbolic acts are the ones that will make us show the world that we are reconciling, that we are helping today, that we are carrying that grain of sand to build the total peace that our president longs for.
During the Special Jurisdiction for Peace hearing, a family member of the victims emphasized empathy in creating forgiveness.
We
have that spiritual part in which one says, humanly, I don't want anything. Humanly, I don't want to see them. Humanly, I don't want to listen to them, because no matter what, they are responsible for what they did.
Pero entonces en esta humanidad empieza a encontrarse con
But
esa
then
parte
this
espiritual,
humanity begins to meet with
en la
that
que
spiritual part,
definitivamente
which
es
is the
la
only
única
one that
que
can
nos
bring us
acerca.
closer.
No
Does not
digamos
say
que un perdón
100%
100%
forgiveness,
porque aún no se ha dado, pero sí hay
because it has not been
una
given yet.
empatía,
But there is an
empezamos a
empathy,
verlos
and
y
we
a
begin to
escucharlos.
see them and listen
Pero
to them,
también,
while also as people who
como
took
las
the life
personas
of our
que
loved
nos
ones,
quitaron
and
la
we
vida
also
de
see
nuestros
human
seres
beings.
queridos.
Let's take a very first break now, but remember you can now follow us on our TikTok account Study English, in which you will be able to see news in different formats, news updates and more. Stay tuned for more news. Welcome back to From the South. French security forces carried out new repressive actions against demonstrators in the city of Naryn, who were protesting the murder of 70-year-old teenager Bara Office Police. Police fired tear gas and clashed with protesters on Thursday in the Paris suburbs of Naryn after 2 nights of urban violence sparked by the fatal police shooting of a 17-year-old teenager. The government announced it will deploy 10,000 more officers on crackdown on neighborhoods where the buildings and vehicles were torched. Dutch police hold a blockade against protesting farmers and their supporters near the temporary parliament building in Hague. Farmers across the Netherlands are irate at government's measures to limit emissions from farming by cutting livestock numbers and possible closing farms. Dutch lawmakers were debating all day in presence of Agricultural Minister after the negotiations between farmers and the government ended with no agreement last week, with one of the main farmers' unions leaving the table. On Thursday, the controversial plan to deport migrants who arrived clandestinely in the UK to Rwanda was declared unlawful by the British Court of Appeal due to the safety concern. The court explained that Rwanda cannot currently be considered a safe third country as there is a real threat that those sent to the East African country will be returned to their country of origin, where they might have been subject to persecution and inhuman treatment. The court stressed that until the deficiencies in its asylum process are correct, sending asylum seekers to Rwanda will be unlawful. British Premier Rishi Sunak said he fundamentally disagreed with the decision and announced that his government will seek permissions to refer the matter to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court of the U.S. Ruled that a country's universities cannot take status race as a valid criterion to facilitate admissions to higher education institutions. The court ruling was approved on Thursday with 6 votes in favor and 3 against. The decision forced U.S. universities to use other methods to ensure diversity. The measure affects the admissions plans of universities such as Harvard and North Carolina. Chief Justice John Roberts justified the action by pointing out that the campuses were wrongly concluded that skin color is a determining factor in admitting a student. Representatives from businesses, government, international organizations, and academia are meeting in the northern Chinese city of Tianjin for the 14th annual meeting of New Champions, also known as the Summer Davos Forum. From Beijing, our CGTN reporting, He Baby told us more.
Some 1,500 public and private sector leaders from more than 90 countries and regions are discussing important issues such as the global economy, climate action, energy transition, and consumption trends in the post-epidemic era. Chinese Premier Li Qiang delivered a speech at the opening of the forum June 27. Li said they have full confidence in China's ability to drive the Chinese economy toward high-quality development and to walk a long-term, stable, and sustainable path. Li added that China will continue to expand its market and create opportunities for collaboration, providing a steady driving force for the recovery and growth of the economy worldwide.
Proporcionando una fuerza motriz constante para la recuperación y el crecimiento de la economía a nivel global.
A platform for global dialogue, the World Economic Forum has always been a key event for all major political and business groups to observe the world's political and economic trends and to make suggestions for the development of the world economy and face global challenges.
Para el desarrollo de la economía mundial y responder a los desafíos globales. El Foro de Davos de verano.
The Summer Davos Forum is also known as the blooming flower of technological innovation in the summer. This year is the 17th year that this major event has been held in China. 133 heads of government and politicians from more than 90 countries around the world, more than 1,000 business leaders and innovative technology pioneers, and more than 100 young world leaders participated in the forum. The participants simply felt the strong pulse of the Chinese economy and have witnessed the solution and wisdom that China has brought to the development of the world economy. At the time of the forum, geopolitical tensions and many other challenges beset the world, and the global economy has added new concerns. To accelerate economic recovery has become one of the most urgent tasks that all countries face.
Acelerar la recuperación económica se ha convertido en una de las tareas más
Entrepreneurship,
a las
the
que
theme of the
responden
forum, is seen
todos
as the
los
key to the
países.
solution
El
and the
espíritu
engine of the global
empresarial
economy.
tema de este foro se considera la clave de la solución y el motor de la economía mundial. Las empresas y los emprendedores son los
Enterprises
creadores
and
del
entrepreneurs
social
are the
y el
creators of
cuerpo
social
principal
wealth
de
and the
la
core of
innovación.
innovation.
Las empresas
Enterprises
deben
should
aumentar la
increase
inversión
investment in
en
high-tech
puestos de
innovation
innovación de
fields
alta
such as
tecnología
artificial
como
intelligence,
inteligencia
big data,
artificial,
and
big
energy.
data y
Accelerate the
nuevas
process of global
tecnologías, acelerar
digitalization,
el proceso
create new
de
economic growth
digitalización
points, and
global,
continuously
crear nuevos
boost the
puntos de
development of the
conocimiento
world
tecnológico
economy.
e inyectar un impulso continuo al desarrollo de la economía mundial. Al mismo tiempo, el espíritu
At the same time,
también es
entrepreneurship is
perseverancia y
perseverance
búsqueda
and relentless
incesante.
pursuit.
Como señaló
As Klaus Schwab, founder
fundador
and
y
executive
presidente
chairman of the World Economic
Económico
Forum,
Mundial,
pointed
para
out,
liderar
to lead the
el
process
proceso
of
de
transformation in the
transformación en la
global
economía
economy,
global,
geopolitics, and
geopolítica
technology,
y la
and create a more
tecnología,
sustainable,
crear
resilient, and
un
united
mundo
world,
más
we must
sostenible,
promote entrepreneurship
resistente
and
y
enhance
unido.
cooperation among
Debemos
all
promover
parties.
el espíritu empresarial y mejorar la cooperación entre todas las partes. China se adhiere a la
China
Vía de
embraces the
Desarrollo
path of
Pacífico y
peaceful
colaborará
development and will continue to
ampliamente con
open out to the
miembros
outside
que,
world,
colaborando
collaborating
con
with all
todas las
parties to build an
partes
open
para
world
construir una
economy and a
economía
community
mundial
of shared
abierta,
future of
una
mankind.
oportunidad de futuro compartido para la humanidad. Los empresarios asistentes opinaron que China es el
The
mercado
attendant
más
businessmen
dinámico,
expressed
con
that
un
China
enorme
is the most
potencial de
dynamic market
crecimiento
with huge
y
growth
que el
potential
compromiso
and
de
that
China
China's
con el resto
engagement
del
with the rest
mundo
of the
se
world
considera
is
un
considered an
importante
important
motor
driver
del
of global
crecimiento
growth.
mundial.
Participants from
Participantes
Asia,
de
Africa,
Asia,
Latin America, and
África,
other
América
regions
Latina y
expressed a
otras
desire to
regiones
restart
expresaron
global
un deseo de
cooperation and a
reiniciar
willingness to
la cooperación
participate
global
in the high
como
quality
oportunidad
development of
para
China's
participar
economy.
en el desarrollo de alta calidad de la economía de China. China no solo cuenta una historia de crecimiento, sino
China not
también
only tells the
representa
story of
una
growth, but also
oportunidad
represents
en
a
la que
window
todos
opportunity for
ganan.
everyone.
Desde Beijing, Hebebe, de CGTN Español para Telesur.
We'll take our final break, but before we invite you to visit our YouTube channel at Telesur English. There you'll be able to watch our interviews, stories, special broadcasts, and more. Hit the subscribe button and active the notification bell to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. So we'll final break, don't go away. Welcome back. In Belgium, leaders of the European Union countries started on Thursday a summit in Brussels focused on the special operation in Ukraine, according to the organizers. The regional agenda for the meeting also includes discussion on the economy, relations with China, and preparation for the European Union Latin American Caribbean Summit. European Council President Charles Michel said that the bloc should prepare to open the door to Ukraine's accession, a step that, despite pressure, has yet to achieve unanimity. European nations have also been providing billions in aid both to bolster the military supplies and to ensure that Ukraine's economy stayed afloat. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said that Ukraine's bid to join the North Atlantic Alliance will be on the agenda of a working meeting to be held in Lithuania on the July the 11th and the 12th of 2023.
Well, at the NATO summit, we will address Ukraine's membership aspirations, and I'm absolutely confident that the NATO allies will send a very strong message of support to Ukraine. We also have the most important thing and the most immediate and urgent task is to support Ukraine, to ensure that Ukraine prevails as a sovereign, independent nation in Europe, because unless we are able to do that, there is no membership issue to be discussed at all. And let me also mention that
on Thursday, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan denounced Sweden for allowing a protest during which a man burned pages from the Quran, further clouding the Nordic nations changes quickly joining NATO.
The viral attack in Sweden on our holy book, the Quran, on the first day of Eid is a provocation. Those who commit this crime, as well as those who allow it under the guise of freedom of opinion, and those who tolerate this despicable act, will not be able to achieve their ambitions.
In this context, Iraqi protesters breached Sweden's embassy in Baghdad on Thursday, also angered by the Quran burning outside a Stockholm mosque that sparked condemnations across the Muslim world. A crowd of supporters of Shahid Khalid Mokhtarzada stayed inside the compound for about 15 minutes, then left as security forces deployed. The protesters came a day after the Iraqi citizen living in Sweden, Sawan Moumika, stepped on the Islamic holy book and set several pages allied in front of the capital's largest mosque. Initially, Swedish police had granted him a permit in line with free speech protection, but later also said that they had opened an investigation over a great agitation. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres condemned the latest Israeli government's approval for thousands of additional homes in West Bank settlements. In a statement, the Secretary General condemned the advancements of plans for over 50,000 housing units in Israeli settlements in Area C of the occupied West Bank, including the restrictive regulations under Israeli law of 3 settlements outposts adjustments in the settlement of Eli. Guterres further added Israel's persistent expansion of its settlements in the occupied West Bank, including East Jerusalem, depends humanitarian needs, significantly fuels violence, increases the risk of confrontation, further entrenches the occupation, and undermines the right of the Palestinian people to self-determination. We have come to the end of the news brief, but you can find this and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. You can also join us on our socials, we're on Facebook, Twitter, the Anonymous as well. For Telesur English from the South, I'm Ana Marrero. Thank you for watching.